And a very good evening to you. This is Easy Friday. My name is Shiksha Arora. Welcome to KBC Channel 1. And of course, I'll be giving you the news of the day right here. Remember, you can always interact with us. The hashtag is Easy Friday at Shiksha Arora at KBC Channel 1. Right, what do we have lined up for you? Well, I'm going to be giving you the latest in terms of politics. Of course, there's a lot that's going on. President Uhuru Kenyatta says the government has actually upscaled the absorption of the NYS service, that's men and women, into the discipline areas. And of course, there's a lot that's happening in terms of what Martha Karua has also, been really going at it in terms of the campaigning. And she says that Kenyans should really go against electing leaders who've got a questionable integrity and their past as well. So that's something that we'll be talking about later on Spotlight. I'll be speaking to Lenana Kariba about his journey in the industry as an actor. So that's coming up later on. Remember, business, sports as well. But for now, let's take a look at the highlights.
This meteoric rise in the number of recruits joining NYS, coupled also with the enhanced standards of training that have been introduced, have been critical in safeguarding the social economic interests of Kenya.
President Uhuru Kenyatta lauds the National Youth Service for placement of more men and women into both private and public agencies. Deputy President William Ruto pledges to make two-thirds gender rule a reality should Kenya Kwanza win the elections.
People who keep on saying that I'm planning to hack, I don't know, I have teams, but all that is politics. It's not reality.
And Information CS Joe Musheru dismisses claims that the government plans to interfere with election results transmission. All right, welcome back. This is Easy Friday. Remember, you can always interact with us. The hashtag is Easy Friday. Our sign language interpreter is Anne Wangeshi. Now, the top story tonight, President Uhuru Kenyatta says the government has upscaled the absorption of National Youth Service men and women into the discipline services and other private and public agencies. The head of state also hailed the newly revamped leadership of NYS, which he said was transforming the service and the lives of thousands of recruits. Take a look.
Speaking during the pass-out parade that was held at NYS Gilgil campus in Nakuru County, the head of state said various state agencies had absorbed thousands of NYS recruits.
That with the support of the ministry and the reorganization that has taken place, we are now able to have a stewardship of senior management of NYS who have achieved a most remarkable turnaround. Hongera.
He added that the rise in recruitment at NYS had safeguarded the socio-economic interest of the nation.
This meteoric rise in the number of recruits joining NYS, coupled also with the enhanced standards of training that have been introduced, have been critical in safeguarding the social economic interests of Kenya and our youth as contained in our development blueprints. It has, in addition, expanded opportunities for thousands of young people, most of whom would not have had the resources to acquire the skills and training offered by NYS.
In a fun-filled event characterized by majestic marching, intricate drills, and colorful shows from the service recruits, President Kenyatta commended the reorganization of the service, saying it would offer thousands of youths with quality training and life skills.
The administration has secured 2,649 job placements for NYS graduates, and of these, KDF and the National Police Service have recruited 500 each. Kenya Prisons has absorbed 61, while the Kenya Airports Authority has concluded interviews for 200 whom they intend to employ. This does not include the 700 who have already been employed by NYS itself. Tena hiyo hongera. Asante sana.
Gender Cabinet Secretary Margaret Kobia said youths are now accessing high-quality training, which is a game changer in addressing job scarcity.
Your Excellency, your presence with us is a true demonstration that your continued determination and to ensuring that youth of this country access quality training and discipline for the labor market and to support the national development. Your Excellency, I wish to thank the National Youth Service Council and the management for strengthening National Youth Service governance to deliver on the now expanded mandate.
9,464 recruits graduated after a 6-month paramilitary training course, where those who had attained outstanding performances were feted by the head of state.
Ishara ya shukrani kwa Mheshimiwa Rais.
For Easy Friday, I'm Ben Troyenjua.
Now moving on, Deputy President William Ruto has pledged to make 2/3 gender rule a reality should Kenya Kwanza form a government after the 9th of August elections. Now Ruto, who spoke during Kenya Kwanza Women Charter Conference at Nyayo Stadium, said women will be at the decision-making table under his tenure.
Deputy President William Ruto now says Kenya Kwanza administration will, within 3 months of ascending to power if elected into office, roll out mechanisms to ensure 2/3 gender rule comes to fruition.
I, William Samoei Ruto, on behalf of Kenya Kwanza Alliance, do hereby commit to actualize the 2/3 gender principle.
Ruto, who spoke at Kenya Kwanza Women Conference at Nyayo Stadium in Nairobi, claimed his government will be a game changer in the country's system of governance, as women will be at the center stage of the decision-making table.
Women will become equal partners, will have equal say, will occupy equal positions in the highest decision-making organ of the Republic of Kenya.
Ruto, who exuded confidence that Kenya Kwanza will have majority of elected women, claimed his government will focus on uplifting women across the country and ensure half of cabinet appointments are women.
That we shall allocate 50% of all cabinet positions to the women of Kenya.
At the same time, the DP took a swipe at rogue public servants involved in the illegal transfers of lands and property to disinherit Kenyans, promising to have a law formulated to criminalize the vice.
Full enforcement of the spousal consent provisions of the law in all land transactions and property rights to cushion women, children and families from dispossession of family land.
This as Kenya Kwanza women leader call upon women in the country to elect Kenya Kwanza leaders in the upcoming poll.
Sisi wanawake wa taifa la Kenya tunakuahidi kutembea na wewe, tunakuahidi kufanya kampeni zako, tunakuahidi kukupigia kura kwa sababu tumeona ukombozi.
We are almost there. It's only 2 months to the election. And there are very many people out there campaigning. But I want us to add the voice of women. Kwa sababu wanawake ndio wameshikilia serikali na ndio wanachaguana zaidi. Mtakubali kufanya hiyo kazi? Will you go door to door?
During the event that culminated into charter signing, detailing policy interventions, Ruto further pledged to establish 50 billion shillings Hustlers Fund to boost small and medium enterprises without interest. For Easy Friday, I'm Gladys Mungai.
And still in politics, Azimio la Umoja presidential running mate Martha Karua has cautioned Kenyans against electing leaders with questionable integrity in the forthcoming general election. Addressing a series of rallies in Kitui, Karua said such leaders cannot be entrusted with Kenya's top leadership.
Azimio la Umoja One Kenya on Friday took their coalition's campaigns to the Ukambani counties of Makueni and Kitui. The Azimio brigade, led by the coalition party's running mate Martha Karua, addressed rallies at Kamutei Market in Kitui South, Zombe and Mutitu centers in Kitui East before concluding their day-long vote-hand tour of Kitui and Makueni at Kwanza Trading Center in Kitui Rural. Karua calling on Kenyans to elect a president who has respect and the nation at heart.
Sababu lazima tuangalie historia ya kila mtu. Kama historia yako na umekuwa na nafasi kwa serikali, hakuna mradi moja unaweza tajwa kwa njia nzuri kukuhusu wewe. Duru ya ufisadi tu ndio inakufuata. Sasa wewe unapatia driver gari akaangusha na ni gari inabeba Wakenya.
Karua further said the Azimio administration, led by Raila Odinga, will be founded on the rule of law and zero tolerance on corruption.
Tushindane na huyu mnyama anaitwa ufisadi. Corruption is on the ballot. Tuambie Wakenya wakati tunaenda kuamua, uamue ni nani mfisadi na ni nani atashinda vita dhidi ya ufisadi.
Hakuna karata. Hawa ni watu wa kukomboa Kenya mahali imebakia. Ni watu wa ugatuzi. Na tunataka haki kwa wote. Ile Martha amesema wote, social justice. Tunataka uchumi kwa wote.
Ni lazima vijana wetu wapate kazi. Na tukiwa kwa serikali, tutakuwa tukipata haki yetu kama communities zile zingine. Ndio tumesema mwaka huu hatuachi nyuma.
Tangia sasa na hata milele.
Earlier, Karua attended the ordination ceremony of ABC Church Bishop Dr. Meshak Mukwelu at the Makueni region head.
Bila good leadership, uongozi bora, hii kanisa halingekuwa mahali iko, hata kuzambaratika ingesambaratika. Sasa mko mmenenepa, Mungu amemuonekania na mnaendelea. Nchi ni vile vile.
Moving on, information Cabinet Secretary Joe Musheru has termed as baseless and political gimmick claims that the government was planning to interfere with election results transmission. Musheru affirmed that the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission servers are very secure, adding that it was impractical to interfere with the transmission process as alleged.
And the private sector.
In the last couple of weeks, a section of political leaders has alleged a plot to hack the IEBC servers and transmission of the results. In reacting to this, Musheru says that the electoral body is an independent body which has hired ICT experts to make sure that the transmission of the results is safe.
All that is politics. It's not reality. I was talking to professionals, people who know how systems are set up, people who've been looking at security, and we know as a country we've been fairly secure. So this issue of hacking is just a political gimmick. It's not reality.
The CS says that the government has strong IT infrastructure and trained personnel to deal with any planned cases of hacking.
We have the right infrastructure, fiber across the country. We've put in new data centers and, of course, the training.
On internet connectivity, the ICTCS says that IEBC has acquired over 1,000 satellite modems to make sure that all polling stations without internet were fully covered during the elections.
They also say they're calling them satellite modems. They've got over 1,500 satellite modems, which means they're going to use those. So Marjan announced that as the CEO of IBC, that they also have those devices which can work anywhere, which means they have 100% coverage of all the polling stations to be able to transmit.
He was, however, quick to add that hackers had on many occasions tried to hack government websites and succeeded in a few, but this has been addressed. Speaking in Naivasha after closing a workshop on national cybersecurity strategy, Musheru at the same time termed cybercrime as one of the major challenges facing the world. Irene Mchuma Odim, Easy Friday.
All right, and with that, it's time for us to take our first commercial break, but we will be back in just a moment. Don't go too far. This is Easy Friday.
Welcome to the 5th edition of the Kalashi International Film and TV Market.
We have an exciting array of conferences and workshops featuring film industry experts from across the world. Come and experience the best of Kenyan storytelling at the Kalasha Market 2022. Come connect and trade in Nairobi.
Come and experience 3 days of film and TV exhibition by players from within Kenya and across the African continent.
Welcome to the Kalasha Market.
Kupata lazima nishike kama skiza tune yako. Bonyeza *811 *962 hash.
Lazima nishike mapema. Nisiposhika sema mapema utakasirika. Unajua mimi nikiwa mtu ya marathon najua niko na experience kabisa. Niko na experience. If you don't hurry, you will not break the record. Okay, wacha nishike simu.
Kupata lazima nishike, bonyeza *811 *962 hash. *811 *962 hash.
Amekuja huko?
Kwani kwa mikwambia?
Hapana.
Fadhana kama chata kupigia. Chunga sana usibomoe boma ya mwenzako. Afika na mtu anamuongelesha, lazima ikuwe wewe.
Na ukiendelea hivi utazeeka ukiwa mwanamke mwenye machungu sana.
Na hata kama pesa yangu ya kwanza ilipotea, Mungu hakunisahau, alinipatia ingine.
Mama Jen, are you insecure?
Christine, hiyo kiburi yako itaisha tu.
Pete, why is your sister here?
The world does not revolve around you. Well, actually, mimi niko home. Yeah.
Sasa ndio nimerealize unafaa kuwork out on some things. Hapa natoka skule Pete ataniambia nitoke. Umesikia?
Welcome back. Now, Kenya is among the 12 English-speaking African countries to draft the Infrastructure Maintenance Guidebook for prisons and correctional facilities. The guidebook will help correctional facilities to upgrade their infrastructures, among them digitization. Now, speaking during the closing ceremony of a 4-day workshop that brought together 12 African countries, Commissioner General of Kenya Prison Service, Brigadier Retired John K. Warioba, said the government has committed to ensure prisons are safe by increasing budgetary allocations to the service.
In a landmark event that marks the beginning of ultramodernism, Kenya has underscored the need to improve infrastructure and prison facilities in accordance to international standards.
If you have had a chance to visit our prisons, you will realize that we are doing a lot of improvements to make them more comfortable to our prisoners. Of course, when they come in to be punished for the offenses that they commit, but we also rehabilitate them. So we want to make life comfortable for them such that they can go through the rehabilitation process that we are taking them through.
Meeting participants from the African continent deliberated on making African prisons a state-of-the-art corrective facilities to address the challenges that have existed since pre-colonial era.
We'll be able to have a better reformation programs with the view that when they are discharged from the prisons, they will be appropriately equipped with employable skills. So when they go out, they will be able to find job for themselves and they will not go and commit any other offense.
Terry Hackett, head of Unit International Committee of the Red Cross Geneva, lauded the holistic approach on designing prisons infrastructures to bring peace to the society.
I would encourage people to look within to find these solutions, because taking it from other contexts around the world, there's different environment, different impacts, different economic situations, and quite frankly, different legal regimes as well. So what comes from within the countries and from within the continent, but again, focus on the Nelson Mandela rules is the key piece.
The corrective documented framework is in line with the late Nelson Mandela rules on prisons and prisoners. The next workshop will be for French-speaking countries in Abidjan, Ivory Coast in September 2022. Ruth Wamboy for Easy Friday.
Now, Nekesa or Wekesa, Wanyonyi or Naliaka, the naming of babies among the Abaluya community is influenced by various factors, especially seasons of the year. This is our focus tonight on My Culture. Take a look.
The Abaluya of Kenya have systematic ways of naming children. The Luya ethnic group consists of at least 16 dialect-speaking subgroups. These include Abakayo, Bukusu, Abanyala, Abanyore, Abatotso, Abetako, Abesuka, Abakabras, Abakisa, Abalogoli, Abamarachi, Abasamia, Abatachoni, Abatiriki, and Abawanga.
Peana majina inajulikana. Hii ni majina ya watu fulani na area fulani. Kama huku Luyaland tuko na watu Wanyala, Wapukusu, wa Maragori, Watukani, wako na majina ya kwana. Lakini sisi kama Waisuka tuko na majina kama Shokonjera, Wangwa, Mwanda, Imbula, vitu kama hiyo.
Some children are named based on particular seasons such as harvesting, planting, weeding, drought, rainy, hunger, plowing, sunset, among others.
Majina zetu tulikuwa tunapeana kulingana na ukoo yenu, kitu cha kwanza tunapeana na msimu, kitu cha pili, ya tatu tunapeana kulingana na majira. Ni nini kimetokea ndio mtoto akasaliwa.
The harvesting season is referred to as Mulikesa. The male name is differentiated from the female version with the initial sound. The male name begins with the letter W, as the female starts with the letter N, from which the names Wekesa and Nekesa are derived. Other Luya sub-tribes name their children based on the rainy season with the name of Fula for the male child and Nafula for the girl child. Rain is regarded as a blessing and assurance of abundance of food among the Abaluya people. Some Luya sub-tribes name their children based on weeding season, hence the male name Wanyonyi and Naliaka for the female. Other children are named in line with drought, with Simiu being the name for the male child, while the female child is Nasimiu. However, the Batsoto sub-tribe has a different name, Kubaso, meaning sunny season. Some children are named based on the season of hunger, the name Wanjala or Wanzala for the male child and Anzala or Wanjala for the female child. Others are named during plowing season with the name Nalima for the girl child. Nalima is derived from the word kolema, which means plowing or digging. Some children are given names based on the hour of the day they are born. For instance, the name Nabuire for the girl child and Wabuire for the boy child, indicating the child was born at sunset. While some children are also named after their dead relatives, they believe that the dead remain alive in the born children. At the same time, a few of the Luya sub-tribes name their children based on planting season. The name for the male child born during planting season is Nyarotso, and the girl child is named Nakomicha. Other factors that determine ways in which children are named include naming after a role model, celebrities or a famous person, traits of family members, added nicknames because of age sets, but insist on giving them a cultural name to identify the child with the family. Each surname is carefully chosen and bears a strong meaning for the family.
Tulikuwa tunaita viongozi kama MPs, kuna watoto wanaitwa Dichoti. kuna watoto wanaitwa Hamasi, kuna watoto wanaitwa Luvembe, kuna watoto wanaitwa Seth Lukonzo, fans wa mpira. Anasaa mtoto anaona yule anashapikia kwa timu fulani ya Manchester ama Arsenal, anaita mtoto huyu anaitwa Rooney, huyu anaitwa fulani, huyu anaitwa fulani, na hiyo ndio tunasema imeanza kupoteza culture yetu. Lakini ikiwezekana hata ukiita anaitwa Rooney, anaitwa Ronaldo, muite hiyo jina ya kisungu moja, lakini yenu ya kiuko ni lazima.
In some cases, the children are named during hair shaving ceremony, and if a child does not belong to the family, it is expected they will not survive. If a child is born out of wedlock, naming is done during shaving, and elders include the aunts, who are the ones who choose the name.
Lazima ulete ripoti wa mtoto ataletwa kunyolewa, tujipange tuanze kueleza vile atanyolewa, na tuko na kulingana na mila tuko na yale tunafanya officially mtoto kunyolewa. Tuwezi tukanyoa tu mtoto leo asubuhi tunanyoa mtoto leo asubuhi, hapana. Tunanyoa mtoto kwa style yake, tunachukua wamama wale watakuja kumnyoa, na tena China inatengwa, msendi ana propose.
Reporting for My Culture, I'm Jackie Wambiru.
Banki imeconfirm pesa zimeingia. Congratulations Sam, gari ni lako sasa.
Shukran. Oi boss, si uniache insurance yako nitumie kabla nijipange.
Insurance ya gari haiwezi kuwa transferred kwa mtu mwingine.
Sina habari, na nikuulize, hii comprehensive insurance inakava vitu gani?
Comprehensive motor insurance inakava gari linapoharibika wakati wa ajali, pamoja na uharibifu wa mali ya mtu mwingine, gari likiibiwa au likichomeka. Pia inakava passenger wa gari lako na passenger wa lile gari lingine kunapotokea ajali.
Kwani umenisahau mimi kama driver?
Dereva hakui covered na comprehensive insurance, ila anajitafutia personal accident cover.
Umenichanua. Rose, hata nishughulikie hiyo insurance, nitakujia gari kesho.
Okay, sawa.
All right, let's cross over to Betty, who is already ready to take it away with the business news. Betty, what's happening? I know it's been a pretty busy week in terms of business. Maybe you can give us a breakdown on what to expect.
Well, a lot is happening, Shiksha. I mean, the e-commerce market in Kenya is growing quite well, but there are quite some challenges, including, have you ever tried to find an address of some place and you just can't find it?
Nope.
Well, Kenya's address system is a mess, so the e-commerce sector is struggling to grow. And that is our first story this evening on business. Kenya's e-commerce market remains low due to high delivery costs and a lack of clear national addressing system. The Ministry of Trade says these challenges are being addressed through the Digital Economy Blueprint launched 2 years ago. Chief Administrative Secretary David Osianyi says the address problem is being dealt with through the National Addressing Policy and the Draft National Addressing Bill 2021, currently before Parliament.
Kenya is the 54th largest e-commerce market in the world, with revenue of approximately 200 billion shillings registered in 2021. United Nations Trade Agency UNCTAD ranks Kenya as the 4th biggest e-commerce market in Africa, behind Mauritius, South Africa and Nigeria. However, the growth of the sector is being choked by a lack of proper supporting infrastructure, with less than 6 million Kenyans buying and selling their goods using various online sites. Trade Chief Administrative Secretary David Osianyi is urging small and medium enterprises to leverage on technology to boost the growth of e-commerce in the country.
To encourage the private sector to identify the gaps in digital skills and develop programs to help in bridging the gap to improve digital literacy and e-commerce skills.
There are over 100 online retail marketplaces and individual stores in the country, according to a 2021 Dalberg report. Chief Administrative Secretary for ICT, Maureen Barker, says the government has developed various policies that are meant to support the ICT industry in the country.
We have in place the National ICT Policy that provides for more open and non-discriminatory trade barriers that may create a thriving market for ICT products and services. The policy promotes market access for ICTs, open government procurement to competition, and promotes cross-border e-commerce.
Players in the e-commerce sector are urging the government to fast-track the rollout of the National Addressing Policy under the draft National Addressing Bill 2021, which are meant to support the growth of the e-commerce business in the country. The National Addressing System has been on the card for more than 10 years now, but it's yet to be implemented.
And horticultural growers will provide an exportation schedule for Kenya Airways in efforts to cater for smallholder producers who have been locked out of key markets globally. Kenya Airways is revising its policies and procedures to ensure seamless offloading management and reduce the current monopoly by big industry players. Fresh Produce Consortium CEO Okisegere Ojepat says delays are diminishing the quality of export produce, giving space for competitors to take advantage of this opportunity.
Kenya earned 157 billion shillings from horticultural exports last year, up by 7 billion shillings compared to the previous year, making it the top agricultural export earner for the country. Agricultural produce exporters believe addressing challenges faced by smallholder exporters would help grow exports.
In certain routes that the national carrier has a route, we can enter into a negotiation and absorb as small as possible those exporters, including the beginners. So what we're looking at here is how do we consolidate together? How do we bring the small guys together and ensure that they take advantage of the capacity within the national carrier?
The major suppliers or the commodities come from small-scale farmers scattered all over the country. This also applies to French beans, snow peas. It's actually 80% driven by small-scale farmers. So they are very important part of the value chain and very important stakeholders for that matter.
They say smallholder agricultural exporters are subjected to high charges by some airline agents who prefer bigger players. They are now being urged to join associations in order to aggregate their produce to match airline economies of scale.
And also when it comes to contractual farming, which allows them to have a better bargain for prices, quality, capacity building, and negotiate also for how the relationship that they intend to have with the exporters.
How do we become predictable? How do we supply our cargo in a manner that can help the airlines and the logistics firm to be able to plan well, and also for our market.
Agricultural produce exporters are also seeking audience with the Horticultural Directorate to establish a predictable export schedule that caters to all horticulture exporters.
We'll bring all the sectors together so that we can be able to discuss with Kenya Airways, especially other airlines, on matters of increasing the capacity out of Nairobi, and also be able to offer the best rate in the market. Right now we are losing to our neighbors because they are able to offer good rates compared to us.
Hibak Said for Easy Friday.
Thank you, Hibak Said. Now, the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics is revising its data collection and coalition methods to match international standards. The Statistics Agency says once the revision is done, it will help the agency adopt the latest international statistics management standards and integrate improved data sources and methods. KNBS has partnered with Statistics Sweden to help in updating its data management process.
Since 2015, the Kenya National Bureau of Standards has been overhauling its ICT systems in a bid to update data collection and management processes. This has resulted in faster data collection and processing as well as accurate data reporting. The Statistics Agency says the ongoing system upgrade has helped in the development and revision of reports that are concurrent with the revised national accounts estimates.
The Bureau is setting up a center of excellence in statistics here in Kenya And I'm happy that in this third phase, whose MOU we have just signed, is planning to start us off by equipping the training room or the training center within our head office.
KNBS has been working with the Sweden Statistics Agency in the three-phase project that will overhaul the agency's ICT system to conform with the international statistics management protocols.
So we see more efficient tools used in statistical production, new ways of handling data in a more secure and efficient way, building on new data storage solutions.
Was actually to help us also receive the laptops that Statistics Sweden has donated to us. They were 146 pieces, which will go a long way in supporting our statistical development.
KNBS Director General MacDonald Obuodo says phase 2 of the project has seen 88 staff trained on new statistics collection and reporting procedures. More officers have also been trained in advanced survey methodology course.
We are not just trained, but we also have our own officers who are actually being trained to move the process forward.
Since the upgrade started, the KNBS has undertaken the rebasing of the Kenyan economy in 2018 in compliance with SNA 2008, adopted the National Accounts Database System, and the development of a new statistical business register system.
And families of the 32 Kenyans who lost their lives in the 2019 Ethiopian Airlines crash could get more compensation following the filing of another suit against the company's former CEO, Dennis Muyenberg, current CEO David Calhoun, and Mark Faulkner, the former chief technical pilot. The suit, filed by a law firm representing 89 families of the victims of the two crashes, has accused the top bosses of concealing the Boeing 737 MAX 8 problems that led to the crash of the Lion Air in Indonesia and Ethiopian Airlines in Ethiopia. A series of failures led to the crash of a Lion Air flight in October 2018, which killed 189 people. 5 months later, an Ethiopian Airlines plane crashed, killing all 157 people on board, including 32 Kenyans, which led to the grounding of the entire Boeing 737 MAX fleet. The latest lawsuit has been filed by Manuel von Riebeck of Riebeck Law Chartered on behalf of Liu Chandra, a businessman who was a passenger on board the Lion Air's Boeing 737 MAX 8 that crashed in Indonesia. The complaint further blames David Calhoun, Boeing's newest CEO, for failing to prioritize safety issues even after the crash in Indonesia while serving as leader of Boeing's board of directors.
They've lost someone, a loved one, and they want to punish those responsible. So our job, as opposed to the
South Africa, and Nedi Mingilishi of Zambia, who bagged gold and silver respectively. Geoffrey Kira bagged bronze in the men's 3,000 meter steeplechase, clocking 8 minutes 29.74 seconds. Ethiopia's Tegengen Emare and Bikila Takale took the first and second positions respectively.
Thank you, Nora, for that report. Moving on, Kenyatta University were crowned champions of the men's soccer after beating Makerere University 2-1 in a nail-biting final of the 10th Africa University Games, which culminated today at Kenyatta University. The games brought together 40 universities drawn from 16 countries.
Kenyatta University football team qualified for the World University Games following the 2-1 win against Makerere University. The two teams had tied 1-1 in first half, but Kenyatta notched the winner in the second half to seal the title. Following the win, Kenyatta University qualified to represent Africa at the forthcoming World University Games scheduled for Chengdu, China in July. In basketball, Kenyatta University women's team finished fourth after beating Makerere University 49-45 in a fourth-place playoff played at Kasarani Gymnasium. The hosts registered a narrow 15-14 points win in the first quarter, while Makerere fought back to tie the second quarter 9-9. Kenyatta University returned in the third quarter, much improved side comfortably, winning at 59. Despite Makerere staging a comeback, winning the last quarter 13-10, it was too little too late as the host held on to bag the victory. The five-day championship attracted over 40 universities drawn from 16 countries.
Thank you, Okumu, for that report. The Kenya Lawn Bowls team is all determined to play their hearts out when they take to the greens in 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. The team of Cephas Kimwaki, Eugene Mbugwa, Esther Wanjiru and Benson Kariuki has been in training at the Nairobi Club bowling greens, as well as Karen and Limuru, but only two of them will represent the country in the Birmingham Games. Eunice Mbugwa, who boasts of several silverwares in the continental events, looks forward to her third appearance in the Games. Her best performance was 14th placing in the singles during the 2018 Games in Gold Coast, while Cephas Kimwaki was placed 19th in the men's singles in his second appearance. Both are optimistic they will make it to the medal brackets this time round. The Cricket Lionesses today won their second match at the Kwibuka Women's T20 tournament after defeating Uganda by 3 wickets in a match played in Kigali, Rwanda.
After winning the toss and electing to bat, Uganda scored 96 runs for the loss of 8 wickets in their allotted 20 overs. Leonida Babiria top scored for Uganda with 20 runs off 36 balls, while Naomi Bagenda and Rita Musamali had 19 and 18 runs respectively. Player of the match, Lavenda Idambo, took 3 wickets for the loss of 13 runs for Kenya. The Kenyan ranchers looked to be in jeopardy after 5 wickets fell for just 14 runs inside 5 overs before Veronica Abuga and Esther Washira steadied the ship with a 56-run 6th wicket stand. Abuga top scored for Kenya with 29, while Washira added 23. Kenya reached their target of 97 after a no ball in the penultimate delivery from Fiona Kulume. The Kwibuka T20 Women's Cricket Tournament is held annually in memory of the victims of the 1994 Rwanda genocide. Kenya, who are the defending champions, face hosts Rwanda tomorrow in their third match of the tournament. For Easy Friday, I am Daniel Wahome.
Second win for
And that's your sports. I'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. My name is Karen Kibet. Have yourself a peaceful night, but don't go too far, as Shiksha Arora will be back, and tonight she has an amazing guest on Spotlight tonight. You don't want to miss that. Good night.
All right, of course, now it's time for me to basically take you through this particular story, which I look forward to every single week right here on Easy Friday. And I believe by now we've already established that a slip of the tongue may not be taken kindly, and far worse, the reaction on social media. It's never too kind, right? Count on Kenyans to make a mountain out of an anthill, and it has been that way this entire week. So, on our weekly segment of Savage Netizens, we shift from climbing the mountains of the political arena all the way to swimming in the oceans of satire. Let's take a look.
Want to pose a very serious question. Well, not that very serious, but can a spirit possess one to say that which they do not mean?
Hello, Kenyans. Let's go for a 2-minute studies of the phrase unachoma. This phrase means when someone starts spilling too much unnecessary truth. Today at Kenya Kwanza Women Charter, Muhubiri decided to choma proper.
We want to come into agreement with the Kenya Kwanza women.
This was definitely bound to make content for savage netizens. Caliph tweeted, "Hey, Pastor amechoma ati Kenya kwisha." Hey. Silas wrote, "Huko Nyayo Stadium ati mtu fulani amesema Kenya kwisha. Wow, oh Lord." Busia blogger tweeted, "It's a spiritual matter. You cannot understand what you are talking about when the Holy Spirit takes over. Behold, Kenya kwisha." But let's still dwell on the spiritual realm. According to the Bible, the Lord said to Moses, "Make a bronze snake and put it on a pole. Anyone who is bitten can look at it and live." Hey, some of you know how the story goes, but it looks like it's time for the snakes to come to our aid again. Presidential candidate Luchiri Wajakoya manifesto does not only spell out weed legalization, but snake farming, extracting the venom for medication purposes, and wait for the best part, the meat will be given to the Chinese to eat and help offset our debts. Hey.
Oh my God! Wow!
And now Shanky might be regretting having asked, apart from the legalizing and planting weed, does Wajakoya have any other agenda? Emilian tweeted, "Chai, too much wisdom and ability Wajakoya has." Brownie, "Mkuu amevuta saidi ya moto." Toti tweeted, "Washia yeye kwa bili yangu." Jumping straight from the abyss of snakes to the pit of fire, drama unveiled at the IEBC headquarters after presidential aspirant Eliud Muthiora bid was thrown out. Ernest tweeted, "Aongeze national ID, huduma card, bank ATM na M-Pesa line. Makau, achome ID tumtambue." Karis decided to go full mode and tweeted, "Ama ajiseti on fire." We could know he was serious. You don't really joke with Kenyans, huh?
Well, as for me, I have absolutely nothing else to say. That's it for us this week. Catch you next Friday on Savage Netizens. For Easy Friday, I am Teresa Mutai.
Welcome back to Easy Friday. This is Shiksha Arora. Remember, you can interact with us on social media. The hashtag is Easy Friday on Twitter, at Shiksha Arora, at KBC Channel 1. Now, tonight, my guest, somebody that I've been watching for, I think, over 12 years. Love everything that he's been doing in terms of the industry. I have to say, he's quite a talented young fellow. We'll be talking to him and asking him about his, journey in the industry as an actor. And, of course, won a couple of awards as well, being in the biggest Kenyan productions. So we'll talk to him. Lenana, hello.
Hello.
I'm sure the ladies have been waiting for this.
I mean, I don't know.
How do you feel?
I feel good. Thank you so much for having me.
You look lovely.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. When was the last time you were actually on set for an interview?
For TV?
Yes.
Man, it's been a while, and it's funny, we were actually talking about this before, and
yeah?
I haven't been to like KBC for like a long time.
A long time.
And so when you called me and you told me to come, I was like, oh man, this I have to do. And it's just really good to be
Thank
here.
you. Thank you so much for coming. We have a lot to talk about. I have a lot of questions lined up for you. So I'm really looking forward to getting to know more about you and of course learning more about the Lenana Kariba.
All right.
Okay, let's
Anything
get to
you
it.
want to know? Let's go.
But before that, Koljak's on the other side. We've got him, all set to make sure that the Friday fever is here to stay. Koljak's, how are you doing today? Okay. So Koljak's is on the other side, and yeah, we'll make sure that he's, playing all the tunes that you want to listen to this Friday.
Kianoa ones and twos like a mix na soda steam ziko juu kakiwet na bua ma design sometime me hudai metomba tune niki drop niki nyambi bado nangangana nikiunda pesa na lavish young lukudati mapenzi ya tati pande zote kachapati nika ex kama ndazi mini dam dam haribu hesabati mini dam dam na sponsor hizi party mini dam na wakatisha maji moka na kachuna mali na afford kama gari chibisha wolenje nikicheza kadenge bogi huwa litwe tulole bogi wapi like Johnny talking big boys and big girls too we out here doing what grown-ups do let loose and bust some moves came one by one leap 2 by 2 2 by 2 2 by 2 2 by 2
Mimi bibi ya mtu lakini nimekosa kitu mi upata si issue but you see it's very little game ni tapo alafu kitchen ni chapo waste material kwa hao chini ya dera mini just follow my lead nogopa nini I got what you need dawa short basi kama haikubambi we kwenda unachoma picha we kwenda leki kwa klabu we kwenda unapenda pita kwende mi upanga big man fight the play mi usababisha
mi mkristo napenda kukatika stakiristo kangoma kameshika mi mkristo napenda kukatika stakiristo kangoma kameshika kangoma kameshika kangoma kameshika kangoma kameshika kangoma kameshika tukubaliane tunapenda kudance ndo nimetoa ngoma waseto wa dance si hata mbinguni tunaenda tukudance so wacha story wewe amka leo tu dance nana kona swali Yesu ndiyo jibu sikiza gospel joy itakutibu haina vurugu taratibu itata madei haina maaibu kameshika kama ngoma za munishi vitu safi hatutaki vitu fishi ongeza energy kama mtu amedishi Yesu mbele shetani ya kumpishi
kwanza za kitambo kameshika tukoja za kisasa kameshika wewe wacha siasa kameshika oya twende sasa kameshika
ni mkristo napenda kukatika stakiristo kangoma kameshika ni mkristo napenda kukatika stakiristo kangoma kameshika
Welcome back to Easy Friday. So in the hot seat tonight, we've got Lenana Kariba. So the spotlight's on him. He'll be telling us about his life, you know, in the acting industry in Kenya. And of course, all the things that he's been up to, content creation. I know that you've been doing a lot of it off late in terms of working with brands as well. And just being a brand on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's it been? How's the experience since you got back?
It's been great. I mean, I just hit the ground running. I didn't know that was the plan.
Okay.
So, you know, I got married last year.
Congratulations.
August. Thank you.
You and your wife are just so beautiful. We'll talk about wifey later on.
Yeah. So, what happened was, with me now having gotten married and living in the UK, I'm actually going to be moving there.
Okay.
But it's going to be a back and forth thing. I'm going to be here and there, depending on, you know, work and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
So I actually came back to get my spouse visa. And that's what kept me here.
So you literally just got back.
The producers and the writers of the show. And they called me and they said, hey, we know you're in the country, we've got this show and I think there's a part you'd be perfect for. So why don't you come and audition and see if you like it? And I did.
And here we are.
Here we are, yeah. So it was good fun. And then after that, of course, you know, I just talked to a few people, get a few more jobs. And yeah.
Love it. Then let's take you way back in time where, you know, you were in uni, you were a younger version of yourself, not too sure of where you wanted to end up in life. Was acting something that you thought you'd be fit to do, or something that just came along the way?
Honestly, not at all.
Really?
Acting found me.
Okay.
I always tell
How
people
so?
that because I was in uni.
Yes.
And I was actually studying electronic media and mass communication. It's basically film and, you know, all that. And I knew I wanted to be in production in some way. So I always wanted to be behind the camera, you know, never like in front of it or doing.
In front of the camera.
And this one time I had gone with a friend to an audition for a TV show. And I was just escorting them. I wasn't actually supposed to be part of this thing. I was just taking them. And when I got there, there was a guy who was like handing out scripts, and he just came and handed the form to me, you know, and the script, and he's like, take, read, we'll call you when you're ready. And so I'm sitting there with this thing, and I'm thinking, I'm not going to do this, and I just put it down, actually. Yeah. And she told me, why don't you just do it? It's like, what are you going to lose, right? And so I went into the room, and I just read the lines, and I was like, okay, cool, and I just walked out.
And you got the role?
And that was it. I got the role, yeah. So what happened
was that your first audition?
That was my first audition
and you
ever.
Got the role?
Imagine, yeah.
You know, I was just talking to him backstage, I mean, behind the scenes, and we were just having a conversation. And I was like, I've actually auditioned as well for a couple of shows and movies. And it's crazy, the entire process that actors go through. It's so intense.
It's intense, it's nerve-wracking, you know. I mean, at the time, because I thought, oh man, this is nothing to me. I wasn't that nervous, but now every time it happens, even today, I am, you know.
Still nervous?
Still nervous. But I was lucky, you know. Everything that happened after that, I have progressed, and I think that I'm doing well now for myself, but it's not always easy. I mean, between that first audition and the second show that I got, there was quite a gap, and I had done 100 auditions before I got my next one.
Wow.
I mean, it's one of those I was just very lucky that this one was the one. And it's tough because sometimes you could be a good actor, and I know a lot of great actors obviously out there, but you just don't look like the character on the page, you know. So that's what happens. I just happened to walk into the room, and they were like, that's what we want, Dr. Well, his name was Dr. Maxwell Fuller. And they looked at me, I did the lines, and the director was actually sitting there. At the time, I didn't know this, but I just read the lines and I walked out. And he says, that's
the
what
look
we
I
want Maxwell Fuller to look like.
Do you think it's something, you know, to do with being a good-looking man? Do you think you get lucky because of your looks?
I don't think so. Because I have played roles where I'm not a very nice guy.
Or a bad man,
a bad man, you know, and all that. And I don't think it has anything to do with looks. I mean, maybe sometimes, but I don't think that's the whole
No, of
reason
course not.
why.
Right.
Yeah, you know.
Okay, interesting. Lenana, so in school, what were you studying? And, you know, is it related to what you wanted to do here? Like when you were in high school, what subjects did you take?
I mean, high school, you know, it's high school. You do everything. But when I was in high school, I actually did a bit of like plays, and I was in skits and those kind of things they make you do. But at the time, I did it just for fun. You know, I never did it like, this is what I want to do
when
I get
serious.
older. It wasn't serious.
Okay.
In fact, I remember we had to pick clubs when you're in high school. You have to be in a club, you know, and I didn't like any of them. And so for the sake of just signing to a club so that I wouldn't get like in trouble, I signed up to drama club. I thought if I go to drama club and I sit at the back, I should be okay. That didn't happen. That didn't happen.
You're the forefront.
Yeah, I mean, I was sitting at the back, but then, you know, one person was like, you come.
Yeah.
And then I did an audition for some play that they were doing for the end of the year. And then I also somehow find myself doing that. But then I got into uni. I was studying electronic media and advertising, as I told you. And at the time, I just thought, you know, I just want to learn about the production and stuff. I want to be a producer or a film or, you know.
Do you see that happening anytime in future? Because I know a lot of actors eventually go on to become producers and directors. Is that something that you would like with your career?
I think yes. I think actually from here now, I think the next step for me would be to kind of focus more on that and see what I can do with it.
Okay, interesting. Maybe you open a production house in the UK.
I mean, maybe. You know, it's tough. The UK is tough, man. You know, like here it's nice because Nairobi is so small. You know, you do it for a couple of years and then you know everyone. You know,
that's so true.
Yeah, so it's easy that way. But you know, in the UK it's huge. You know,
it's okay.
So.
You could be our next Lupita, the male version.
Maybe we could be lucky. Lupita was lucky too, you know. So like, you know,
about the luck sometimes.
You could be lucky, yeah.
Okay, so you know, I mentioned that we're going to talk about Wifey. I really want to know how you guys met. I've just been reading a lot about you two, and it's just such a fairy tale. So tell me.
No, don't say that. You know what? It's actually not as. I mean, maybe the whole thing that happened after with us being together and how we are, and everyone thinks, oh, you're so cute. And
I like the fact that, you know, you've actually made a marriage work through kind of long distance.
Yeah, well, not by choice, of course.
Of course.
You know, it's tough now because, you know, we got married in August. I came back to Nairobi in October, November. And I've been here since. And it's not because I want to be here. Like I said, you know, my visa and all that. So I'm still waiting for that to process and then I can go back. So not by choice.
Okay.
But we have made it this far and we are strong.
It's amazing.
You know, I try to be, you know, she's probably not as strong as I am. Sometimes it really gets to her. But you know, but we're doing okay. We are, and we're awesome. Now the story of how we met.
Yeah, where did you guys meet? I want to know.
It's not a fairy tale at all because it was one of those things where I had gone for a friend's birthday party.
Okay.
Right, it was a house party, and she was there. Now I had known this person for a really long time.
The friend.
Yes, the friend. I had known them for a really long time. And they knew Helen, my wife, is Helen. They knew Helen for a long time too. But we never met. And we always make fun about that now. Like, how is it that we've known this person
but you just
for this
never
long,
met.
But we never met. And but we did that day. Actually, the funny thing is I did meet Helen before, like a year before that.
Yeah.
But it was just in passing. And I said, hi, oh, it's nice to meet you. That was it. At the same house party. But this is now like a year later.
Wow.
But it was, and I didn't actually remember meeting her the first time. But this time when we were introduced,
and
you know,
she remembered it.
No, she didn't remember me either. Yeah, we didn't remember each other at all. She was just like, oh, Lenana, okay, nice to meet you. And then it was later on that our mutual friend told us that, you know, you guys have met before, right?
That's crazy.
And I was like, at the exact same house.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? Are you serious? It's like, yeah. So anyway, that night we talked for a bit more and yeah, I mean, like, we just hit it off.
Okay, so after the night ended, who messaged who first?
I did actually. You know, I did. You know that thing where you get someone's number because I did ask for her number.
Oh, nice.
And you know, you're told you should wait a couple of days before you don't want to seem too desperate. I texted her as soon as I got home.
Oh, hey, I'm home. Nice, lovely meeting you.
It was so nice meeting you.
I love
I'd
it.
really like to see you again. And she replied and she was like, yeah, sure, okay, cool.
Oh, that's lovely. That's so nice.
And the rest is history.
And your wedding was so beautiful. It was in the Caribbean islands and, you know, just
it was
so dreamy. Like, it looked like a movie. I won't lie to you.
Yeah, did it?
Yeah.
It was amazing. I think it had a lot to do with me getting my papers together and stuff. And so we knew, we had already talked about getting married. At this time, I had already proposed January of last year. And we knew we wanted to get married. We were going to wait until we came back to Kenya. But then, you know, lockdown happened and it was taking a really long time.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we actually talked with our parents and stuff, and we said, listen, let me just get the papers together so that I can finalize my moving there. And when we come back, when everything is settled down and everything is okay, we'll come back and we'll have the whole wedding. Now everyone can be there. So we just did it, the two of us, actually. I think it was really special. It was kind of like our wedding and our honeymoon at the same time, because we, you know, we got married and then we had the rest of the 7 days to just enjoy the scenery and everything. Beautiful. It was amazing.
I love how you did things in a very different way. It was a very unconventional way to get married, right? As people would say, because usually you expect there to be a big celebration, you know, with a lot of people present.
I know.
So
I mean, but the hotel that we were staying at were very nice. You know, they did everything for us.
Wow.
We just had to show up.
Okay.
And one of the ladies who was the manager, she was our witness and stuff. So we did have someone there with us, you know. But it was nice. It was amazing. But we always knew we wanted it to be a destination wedding.
Okay.
So even if we did it here, we probably would have done it in the beach still.
Anyway,
but yeah.
Nana, I've been following you on Instagram for a while, and I love that you do these question and answer segments, you know, with your followers and people who have been watching you, your fans as well. There's a lot of questions that people ask about, like, how your wife is so okay with you doing all kinds of scenes. And I love that she actually came on to say that, yeah, I mean, it's okay, I don't have an issue, because that's acting, that's his work. And I also like that you went on to explain what really happens behind the scenes, and it's not as romantic as you see
definitely not
on TV.
Everyone thinks that there's, you know, they see what you see on TV looks amazing, but that's because the people behind the camera make it look amazing.
Yeah.
But if you were there while we're shooting it, it's not as romantic or anything. There's a lot of cuts, and you know, and you have to think when you're kind of having like an intimate scene with somebody else. There's like 12 people in the room.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's not as, you know, as intense as you would think. We make it seem that way, of course, with the acting. But you know, as soon as they say cut, you know, you just walk away and you're like, cool, you know, you just
end up doing your own thing.
Doing your own thing. But I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people would say that it's normal for somebody else, your partner, to be okay with it, especially if they came into the game of the relationship knowing that you are an actor. These are the kind of things you're going to do. And I think that's one of the things that really drew me to her. You know,
did you speak about it before getting married, or when you started dating?
About my work?
Did you have that conversation?
We talked about my work. We didn't talk about, like, okay, so who are you going to be on set with? You know, like, what are you going to be doing with Sarah, San, and Faith? You know, we didn't really talk about it to that depth, but she knew, you know, what it was like. She's never dated an actor, but she knows obviously what acting is like, and if this came about, you know, she's okay with it. And I just said, you know, that's one of the things that really drew me to her. She's very supportive, and
I love it.
A lot of the
your
time,
biggest fan?
My #1 fan.
Aww.
And I know and it sounds cliche, and every guy is probably going to say that about his girlfriend or his wife, but she really is my #1 fan. She
watches all your movies,
she's watching
shows.
This right now.
Oh man, we have to give her a shout out, right?
So she's in the UK, but she's watching it online.
Amazing.
She's watching this right now.
I love technology.
I know, right?
This is amazing. We have to say hi to Helen, and we have to tell her how incredible she is for being so supportive.
I know.
And we have to say thank you for being such a lovely wife and a human being.
The best. You know, sometimes I give her my scripts to read until I'm like, babe, what do you think? And like when I gave her the script for Single Kiasi, she said, oh, this is really nice. So who's going to be playing this Rebecca girl, the one that you have a relationship with? I said, I don't know yet, but I'll find out. And she's like, well, she better be pretty.
Oh.
Because I don't want you, like, you know.
Okay.
I'm like, wow, okay, cool. I'll try and make sure she is. Which she is.
Yeah.
Which she is. Faith is very pretty.
That's amazing.
Also. Yeah.
So Lenana, we've spoken about, you know, your future plans. You said probably at some point you would like to be directing or, you know, in the production scene. Have you had that conversation with maybe different production houses as to what your vision is on who Lenana is in terms of an actor? Certain roles that you want to portray in future? Are you selective on the kind of scripts that you're picking right now?
Yeah, I am selective, very selective on the scripts I'm picking, and because at the beginning of it, I was really just trying to grow as an actor. You're really trying to like be better at your skill and you know figure out what it is that you're good at. So I would do a lot of odd things here and there. But now I think I've gotten to the point where I can see a script and it doesn't matter how good it is. I'm like, a character is just not for me, or I don't like, or maybe I just don't like the script, and I'm like, okay, cool, I don't want to go near that or anything.
So you've actually you're in a position right now where you've actually turned down roles.
I've turned down a bunch of roles.
I love
you know, I did the final season of Crime and Justice, season 2.
By the way, that was an amazing
Thank you.
you and Sarah, like, you have some serious chemistry. Have you guys been friends like before?
Yeah, Sarah and I have known each other for a very long time. We're very good friends.
Kind of shows.
Yeah, in fact, it's because we're friends and I know Sarah, and we've actually done scenes like that and where we have to be intimate and interact like that together. It's very easy. It's very easy. If I had to do that with someone I didn't know, there would be that time that you have to get to know this person first and then build that kind of comfortable rapport between the two of you. But if you know someone like I did with Sarah, or I did with Faith Kibathi for Single Kiasi, I knew her already. It was easy. You know, we're friends already, and it's like, you know, we're just working, and so the chemistry is really, that made it easy for me.
Yeah. Any particular role that you would love to do? Something that you haven't tried, you want to experiment?
No, I don't have a particular role that I would, I think anything that's outside my comfort zone is probably something I would really like to do, because I think that makes me grow as an actor. I think that's going to make me better. And because I have tend to stick a lot to my comfort zone and stuff. I have stepped out a bit by being the bad guy, you know. Before I was always the
boy next door.
The boy next door.
Chocolate boy.
Yeah. I got tired of that very quickly, and I was like, I don't really want to be seen like that all the time, you know. Sometimes I just want to be the bad guy who everybody hates, which, you know, I don't mind. You know, it's fun. It's fun being the bad guy.
Okay, interesting. So you've been doing this for like 12 years or so, right?
Yeah, 12 years.
And we just had a conversation before we began, and you mentioned that sometimes, you know, you actually end up being given a script and you have no time to get to know the character, and you just have to go and start filming and start shooting. And how does that work in terms of preparation? What does that do to you?
Well, the thing with that is, a lot of times, and this actually happened with Crime and Justice, because remember I told you I turned down roles?
Yes.
Crime and Justice had actually called me several times for different characters since season 1.
Really?
And they called me for different episodes, but I was like, no, I don't like that one. I don't like that one. I don't want that one. And then I was handed the script for the finale of season 2, and I was like, oh my God, I love this episode. I loved the episode more than I loved the character, and I think that's what made me do it even more. And I think I got the script maybe 2 days before we had to shoot.
Wow, 2 days!
I had a little like snippet thing when I auditioned. They only give you a few lines. But I got the script like 2 days before we started shooting. And when I read through it, sometimes it's easy, especially if you don't have to go too far outside yourself to just be this person. It makes it easier. A lot of the times I sit down with the director, and we have a call, we'll have a video call, and I'll tell him, this is what I think, and we very quickly try to discuss the character, and in those 2 days I tell him, this is what I want to bring out of it, and this is how I'm going to do it. And if they're okay with it, then we go along, and so a lot of the times it's just doing what you feel like this character would be, and if the director is okay with it, then you roll with it.
Wow. Okay, so I want to play a little game with you, a rapid fire. And I'm going to ask you a few questions, okay? You have to just be really quick and just be honest, okay?
Okay.
Nothing intense. This is KBC.
All right. Let's see.
Okay, so let's start off with beach or safari?
Beach.
Okay. Tall or short?
Tall.
Tall, of course. I wanted to ask, so who's your favorite actor?
Oh man, should I be quick about this? That's a hard one though.
Okay,
I mean,
top
I can't.
Three.
Denzel Washington, Winona Ryder. I love her; she's amazing. Robert De Niro. Yes, I mean it's so many. That's off the top of my head, but yeah.
A role in a Hollywood movie that you think you would have played better than the actor?
that's wow. Anything that Vin Diesel has done, probably. Sorry, I'm just...
okay, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Being fast and furious, aren't you?
Anything that he's...
Okay, if a book was to be named after you, okay, like an autobiography, what would the name of the book be?
One
word.
One word? One word of the book.
No, like the title.
The title?
Yes.
One word?
In one word.
God. I don't know. My life isn't very interesting, guys. I don't know. Yeah. It would be exciting. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just saying that because I think for me it is. But
An adventure.
Yeah, an adventure.
Something like that.
I'd probably adventurous then. Yeah, I'd probably say
Adventurous.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a tough one though.
A Hollywood,
There's a
a
lot of-
Hollywood actress that, or Hollywood or even Kenyan actress that you'd love to work with.
Wow, I've really worked with a lot of people that I've told myself, man, I would really love to work with her.
Okay, in Hollywood then.
In Hollywood.
Yeah.
I would love to. I mean, I would love to work with Denzel Washington for sure. I think maybe Idris Elba.
Idris
is a
Elba.
good one. I think I'd love
Nice.
to work with Idris Elba.
Like that choice.
Idris, Damson Idris.
Yeah.
I don't know if a lot of people would know Damson Idris.
No.
He's a UK actor. Snowfall, stuff like that. If you go check him out, you'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, he's probably someone I'd really love to work with.
Interesting. The last one. In your eyes, who is the best Kenyan actor and who is the best Kenyan actress? And you can't say your own name.
Oh man, that's cheating now.
You can't.
Or if I say it is cheating.
No.
Wow. Okay. Who is the best Kenyan actor? I can't say one.
Okay.
It's not gonna be. If I say one, guys will be like,
two. Say two. Being nice.
Being nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. Kenyan actors. Pascal Tokodi is actually a really good actor.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Him and I have known each other for a while also. But
so basically Pascal and yourself, right?
Pascal and myself, of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Female.
Female. I mean, I'm not gonna, because everyone would think I would probably say Sarah San, who's an amazing actress, of course. I think she's one of the greatest. But there's some like the underdogs who people might not know about. Like when we did Single Kiasi, the Faith Kibathi is an amazing actress.
Okay.
Love working with her. Nice Githinji.
Nice is great.
Nice is
great.
amazing.
Nice is nice.
I have loved Nice since Changing Times, man.
Wow.
And that's actually one of the first times that we met.
Okay.
And she's amazing. I love her acting.
Okay.
She's really
last
good.
one. I said I was the last one, but I have one more.
All right. You're just gonna keep doing this until
fine.
we're done. Okay.
A Kenyan
All right.
director that you'd love to work with.
Kenyan director I'd love to work with. I don't have one particular one that I'd love, because I do like socializing. I do know how to go out and meet new people and all that kind of stuff and adventure. I do love that. But I am a loner. I do love being alone by myself.
Okay, you enjoy your alone time.
I enjoy my alone time very much, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
So
nice.
yeah.
So Lenana, your parents, people who have pushed you, was there ever an issue when you told your parents or your family that you wanted to be an actor and this is what you wanted to pursue?
No, not so much. With my family, my siblings kind of paved the way in terms of going into that kind of entertainment industry.
Yes, I know your brother's in the entertainment industry as well, right?
Yeah. My eldest, actually, Bam Ziggy, right, is my older brother. And when he started that whole thing, I think maybe I didn't really know how my parents felt about it. But and then the brother before me, Cora, who was part of the council and is an amazing producer now as well. He also paved that way, and my dad and my mom, my dad especially, he was very comfortable with letting us be what we wanted to be.
I love that.
So it's like if you feel like you're happy doing this, then I'm all for it and I support you.
That's
and
beautiful. That's
yeah,
lovely
so.
to hear. Lenana, as we wrap up, any advice that you have for the youngsters and of course actors who are really trying to break through in this industry? As you said, there's a lot of actors out here who are so talented but they don't get the chance. What would you like to tell such people?
I think it is tough, and I'm not going to lie, it is. And the story that I told you before about how I got my audition, I was lucky. But like I said, after that, before I got my next job, it took some time. And when I realized that, oh my God, this is something I really enjoy doing, this is something I love, I want to keep doing this, I just kept pushing and I never give up. Because the thing is, when you know what you want from yourself and you want to, pursue this and you have a passion for it, nothing's really going to stop you, So like, even if you feel like maybe it's not working out right now, it will work out at some point,
Absolutely.
And and especially now in this day and age, there's a lot of opportunities coming up with all these platforms coming into into Kenya, so the streaming platforms and stuff. A lot of opportunity to actually put your foot into the industry and do something. So just never give up.
I love that. Any message for your fans? For Lenana lovers, Lenana fans out here?
Oh man, my fans, my supporters, just that I love you guys so much. You guys are amazing. I love the support. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be sitting here with the amazing Shiksha right now or be where I am in my career right now. So just thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, so thank you so much, Lenana. That was an absolute pleasure. I loved every bit of the conversation. So many little things that I've learned from you tonight. and yeah, just thank you. Thank you for being so inspiring. And I feel like you're so grounded and humble. And it's very hard to come across these days. So I don't know, maybe Helen has something to do with that, or maybe your family, your upbringing.
My family has a lot to do with that,
so it's amazing.
Those things go
honestly,
to your head.
Keep doing you, keep being you, and keep shining.
Oh, thank you so much. I really love this. I love being here. Like I said, it was so great to come, here and do this.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right, and that's how we wrap up this edition of Spotlight. Of course, we've got Lenana Kariba with us. I'm going to make sure we do a dance together later on. So watch out our social media. We're going to post that later on as well. He's a fantastic dancer from what I hear. You'll see for yourself. But yes, thank you. Thank you once again for sticking right here on Easy Friday. We'll do this again next week. Same time, same place. Shiksha Arora signing out. Cole Jacks, it's time for you to take it away.
It's gotta be DJ Cole Jacks. You say boom, 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 boom. You say boom, 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 boom. Tasema yongo, unavyonataka kutembea, kipenzi wa mwendo, taratibu ka unachechemea, karanga za saida, mabonga tupo Al-Qaida.
Nairu kwe maskini lakini